Hi guys, how's it going? Hope everyone's well. Hope everyone's good. Curse King with the slot emotes. I'm glad these emotes are catching on. That's probably my favorite one. I either that one or the McAllister one. Cat James says, "Hey, hello. How's it going?" Cat Smith says, "Let's go Bournemouth." I'm with you on that. I don't know if Man City have qualified for Champions League yet. So yeah, hopefully we get a nice, good look at our future left back, who is playing. I just thought I'd double check he is actually playing. Bagwell says hi Bagwell, how's it going? Harry says hello, how are you? Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. I was gonna ask how are you, but then I've seen your comment after that. Injured my finger, going to get an X-ray tomorrow. Ouch! I hope it's not too painful. Was that presumably playing football again? Uh, was that like as a goalkeeper or as a striker? Uh, hopefully it's not too bad. Hope it's not too painful either. Durwood says hello. Hey, how's it going? Hope you're well. Did you see the post game from Brighton yesterday, where Trent was just looking at the crowd, and all the crowd were dancing, and all the crowd were kind of dancing and partying, and Trent's just there looking all somber and looking like he kind of regrets his choice. What I like as well is how, if you watch that video, Bradley actually walks in front of him. So I thought that was kind of symbolic. My English teacher would be proud of me coming up with such symbolism. But yeah, I'm wondering what everyone thought of that video. Fish says hi, hello Fish. How are you doing? Is this the real fish or is this the replacement fish? Johnny says hi Johnny. How you doing? Hope you're good. We have Pixel Jeff says hey, how you doing? Hope you're good. How's things going? I saw a have you seen Gary Neville and what's his name? Jamie Carragher's best 11 of the season. Munoz was like the right back for the best 11 of the season. So yeah, you were definitely onto something there. Well deserved. Well deserved. Yeah. To be honest, he has played pretty well. I didn't know too much about him until I think you mentioned him maybe a few weeks ago, and I was like, "Is he a Premier League player?" And you were like, "Yeah, Crystal Palace." Then I started looking into him, and yeah, had a man of the match performance in the final. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see if he stays at Palace or kind of what happens with him. No rounders. The ball bent my finger back. Ouch. I presume you were batting, I guess. I'm trying to remember what rounders is. Rounders is a bit like baseball, isn't it? But something that we play at school. On base. Ouch. Painful. But yeah, I hope that goes okay with the X-ray, and yeah, and I hope recovery also goes well. I was just going to ask you if you saw the 66 video. I've watched it like 66 times at this point. I just keep watching it. I don't know why, but it just kind of gives me so much pleasure to watch that video, because he should be celebrating as well. He should be celebrating as well, like at any other time, but he can't. He's just got to stand there looking all kind of depressed is maybe too strong a word, but looking a bit left out, looking all alone. Yeah, it is Schadenfreude, isn't it? The German word where you derive pleasure out of other people's misery. I was experiencing a lot of Schadenfreude from that, but yeah. I mean, what do you think was gonna happen? I'll tell you what he thought was gonna happen. He thought he would get a hero's send off like Firmino got, But that's never gonna happen. Kind of given the context, he can probably just throw. He can probably just throw another summer of '66 party. That should cheer him up. Fish says Fulham or Brentford. Maybe Brentford, I guess. But both have had pretty good seasons, haven't they? Brentford are 9th, Fulham are 10th. So both have done better than West Ham, done better than Man United, done better than Spurs. I think 66 figured it out when Slot brought on Endo, yeah. He was just kind of sitting there, wasn't he, with his arms folded on the bench. He better get used to that pose. You know, the pose of looking very sad and very angry on the bench with your arms folded. He's going to be doing that in sunny Spain soon. So I hope he gets used to that. Ooh, Man City have kicked off. Rodri's back from the dead, by the way, but he's on the bench. Yeah, I think the interesting thing now will be to see if he gets any game time in the final game of the season. I still doubt it, to be honest, against Crystal Palace. He'll probably just keep him on the bench. But it is kind of funny, kind of presuming everyone's going to make a big deal out of you, and the opposite happens. And it's not just a case that only the opposite happens. The team has also replaced you in like a week. So that must make you feel a bit small, really. Everyone's already moved on, and you haven't left yet. I think that's how I'd kind of summarize it. Poor 66, eh? Fish says sugar on mac and cheese. That sounds disgusting. Why would you ever do that to yourself? That's possibly the worst combination you could ever come up with, Fish. Speaking of bad combinations, I don't think Foden's playing with anyone today. He's probably benched. Foden is benched. Man City have got Edison, Nunes right back, Ruben Diaz, Akanji, Guardiola, Gundogan, Kovacic, Silva, De Bruyne, Marmoush and Haaland. Haaland might actually touch the ball today, given that he didn't touch the ball versus Crystal Palace. Bournemouth, though, Kepa, Araujo, Zabani, Huysen, who's off to Madrid now, but it is what it is. Kirkes, who's hopefully off to us now. It is what it is. Adams, Cook, Semenyo, Cliver, Tavernier, and Evan Nielsen. I think Bournemouth will beat them here. Man City just look terrible every time I see them, but they're still quite high up the table. They're like Ruben Diaz, awful touch, hands it straight to Evan Nielsen. Cliver with a shot. Ooh. The whole Ruben Diaz is better than Van Dijk thing seems to have finished now, hasn't it? I've noticed other teams, they always go through this cycle. As soon as they get a defender, that defender's better than Van Dijk. So Laporte better than Van Dijk. That lasted a while. Then it was Diaz better than Van Dijk. Of course, with Man United, when they signed Harry Maguire was better than Van Dijk. But eventually they kind of concede that they're talking nonsense. Fish asks, when's Kivio playing? I mean, presumably when what's their name? Presumably when Arsenal play, right? I thought you hated Kivio, or am I remembering that wrong? Throw into Man City here. Cleared. Nice skill there by Gundogan. I didn't know that he still had that in him, but I guess he does. Bournemouth looking dangerous. They just can't quite get it past the last defender. That's got to be a foul by Nunes there. That has to be a foul. Fulham eats mac and cheese. What's your obsession with Fulham today? You've not spoken at length about Fulham before. I don't know if this is like a new thing. Oh, this chair, man. De Bruyne. Silver on the right again, which is interesting. Ooh, Kovacic. Nice shot. Just goes a bit wide. Just slightly wide. Kovacic feels like the only Man City kind of midfielder who's not very old or very young. He's got to be like 28 or something, hasn't he? Kovacic, 31. I didn't know he was 31. He's older than I thought. He's been around the block a little bit. Yeah, pretty much everyone is is watching Kirkes today by the looks of it. What's the ingredient for mac and cheese? Didn't we Google this the other day? Wasn't it like 6 different ingredients? One of them was cheese. I remember that. You need macaroni. So specifically macaroni noodles. You will also need butter and flour. Milk, apparently. And it says specifically home milk. Cheese, seasonings, salt and pepper, and breadcrumbs. There you go. You'll need to note that down, because I'm sure you'll probably ask me again anyway. Durwood says the randomness of fish makes me think He is confusing the chat box with Google. Um, I do, I do sometimes wonder if Fish is like a real person or a bot, if you know what I mean. Because there's been other times where he's like sent messages. What was he sending the other day? It was like he was trying to do like a Google Translate thing, and I'm like, Fish, are you a real person? But some of the demented things he comes up with makes me think he is a real person. Oh, Pixels are subscribed on Twitch. Very nice, Pixel. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. You get the animated emotes where there's one where I'm wearing this exact shirt and shooting a gun. So that was yeah, that was quite good. The slot with the glasses, yeah, that's the deal with it thing. But yeah, no, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Here's Guardiola. Mamouche is on the left, which is interesting. Kepa has kind of rejuvenated his career to a certain degree. I wonder if he's still the most expensive goalkeeper in the world. Because I remember when we signed Alisson, who was the most expensive goalkeeper in the world. And then a week later, was it even a week later that they signed Kepa, and then Kepa cost slightly more, and then Kepa was the most expensive. Fish says Emile Smith-Rowe got sent off against Fenerbahce. Are they playing today? Fulham versus Fenerbahce? They can't be, right? Yeah, I don't know if that's like a really old fixture that you just mentioned randomly. Where are this Man City team in the league? Man City are third. How on earth are Man City third? I was thinking like sixth or something, but well, they're third, but they're only 1 point ahead of seventh. So there's still a lot to play for. Smith-Rowe plays for Fulham. Yeah, that's the thing. Like that. That's why I was so confused with Fish's exclamation there, because I even googled Fulham versus Fenerbahce, and it said the last Fulham versus Fenerbahce match was 2018, and I was like, that's like 7 years ago. Here's Marmouche. Oh my God, what a goal that was. What a goal that was. Dang. Sometimes you just gotta say, you know what? You know what? Well played. That must have been like, what, 30 yards out? It must have been about 30 yards out, top corner. I do think Bournemouth probably should have pressed him a bit more, maybe put a bit more pressure on him, but even then. Yeah, like that's poor defending by Howson, to be fair. That shot was unstoppable because it was kind of going over the bar and then dipped at the last second and hit the post and went in. Fish says Smith Rowe is his idol. Well, that's good to know. What is it? What is it specifically about Smith Rowe that makes him your idol? You know, roe is actually a type of fish, but it's spelled a bit differently. Is that why, or is there something else about Emil that makes him your idol? Did you see United wants Martinez from Villa, as in Martinez the goalkeeper? No, I didn't see that. This is the thing with Man United. They just keep repurchasing like the same positions every year. Like they need a striker, they bought Hoyland. They need a striker, they bought Xerxes. They need a striker, they're gonna buy Cunha. They need a goalkeeper, they bought Onana. Over 50 million. They need a goalkeeper again a year later, they buy Martinez. I mean, Martinez is a very good keeper, but it would be a step down going to United at this point. And I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he would, kind of, given his Arsenal links, because I think Villa bought him. Yeah, the World Cup winner. Yeah, I think Villa bought him from Arsenal, didn't they? But to be fair, I'm not sure how much of a affinity Martinez has for Arsenal. They'd have to pay. They'd have to pay a lot. Let's check when his contract is up. Ooh, yeah. His contract is up in 2029. So he's still got 4 years left. So they're gonna have to they're gonna have to pay a significant amount for him. Yeah, it says Man United have made an offer for Aston Villa goalkeeper Emiliano Martinez. What is the offer? He's 32 years old. So it doesn't feel like it'd be a particularly long-term signing. His value is only 21 million. And it's saying Villa might sell him to balance the books from a PSR perspective, which would make sense, I guess. And United are due to play Villa in the final game of the season, which makes things all the more awkward in some ways. Apparently Barcelona won him as well. He's in demand. It's funny in some ways because he only signed that long-term contract in August, which is not too long ago. But yeah, he would improve them. He would improve them even if it's not a long-term signing. The question then arises, what would be the future of Onana? Would they sell him? Would they loan him out? Would they keep him as a backup? These are all things that they need to consider. which I'm sure they are considering. Here's Kovacic to Haaland. Haaland has already touched the ball today more than he touched it in the cup final. The Florian WIRTZ news seems to be it doesn't seem to be going away. I'm starting to kind of slowly get on board. Slowly starting to get on board the WIRTZ train, because I was thinking about it as well. Bayern Munich, they've already got Musiala, haven't they? And Musiala has just this year signed a new long-term contract. And I'd argue Musiala plays the same position as WIRTZ. So why would they want WIRTZ other than purely for the fact that he's another German player and we have to grab and take all the German players? So I'm starting to see the logic behind it. He apparently also, where's Marmoush again? He apparently also has a smaller release clause for the English or for the foreign clubs than he does for a German club. So that could swing it. I'm surprised De Bruyne is playing today, given that I think he played the entire game versus Palace. So he's still got a level of fitness, or a level of endurance, should I say. De Bruyne crosses to Haaland. Haaland can't quite finish. This Man City team, it just looks so disjointed. They've got the old and they've got the new, but in some ways, it doesn't feel like the old and the new are kind of gelling together. Marmoush kind of just scored that goal on his own. Saudi clubs are pushing for Darwin Núñez. If they can carry on pushing for Darwin Núñez, that would be fantastic. Dang, people are being pretty harsh to Darwin, saying worst player the club has ever signed. I wouldn't go that far. But it's safe to say he probably hasn't quite lived up to what we expected. The thing is, if Núñez is sold to Saudi, that is a significant chunk of change. Maybe that's the WIRTZ money, who knows? Ooh, nice pass by Kirkes. Ah, just intercepted. Is it Edison today? It is Edison today. Man City also can't seem to kind of make their mind up regarding who their keeper is. Wasn't it that Ortega bloke versus Palace? Palace 1-0 Wolves. So Palace have officially gone on holiday after winning the cup, just as we did. The final game of the season, Liverpool versus Palace, is literally going to be the most hungover game you've ever seen. 11 hungover. Oh my God, De Bruyne just missed an open goal. How did he miss that? De Bruyne literally had the tap in. That is I could have scored that. My mum could have scored that. He literally had the tap in right in front of the goal, but he decided to blast it and he hit the ball. That's terrible. Yeah, Egbadou scored for Wolves. Yeah, that final game of the season is going to be two teams who have been partying for the majority of the previous week up against each other. I love the pictures about Hangover Sunday that are all over Twitter. Yeah. Like, I don't understand kind of why people are getting so upset about it and getting so wound up about it. Like, the league's won. Like, let them, like, in my opinion, the league's won. Let them have a longer break. It will give them a bit more rest time and ensure that they come in a better condition for pre-season, I think. Oh, they're just showing that De Bruyne miss again. That was horrendous. Should have been an assist for Marmoush, to be fair. Palace 1-1 Wolves. Well, their lead didn't last all that long. Your feed must be, it's ahead of even like the website that I use to check the scores. Ah, now it says 1-1. Who was it that scored for Palace? Oh, Nketiah. Okay. The season is over for both teams. Just bring the trophies and have a giant celebration for both teams. Yeah, I think that's pretty much what that final game of the season will be, to be honest. I don't think any teams will be kind of diving into tackles. A lot of a lot of players will be kind of pulling out of tackles, kind of taking it easy, and then celebrating. Because at this point, there's literally nothing to play for. So I guess the manager might as well experiment if he wants to experiment, and if not, just kind of take it easy. Have a longer break. I think there's an advantage to having a longer break because you're having more rest time than the other teams. Pixel says Munoz to assist that game. To be honest, he probably will at this point. He's going to be up against Robertson on the left-hand side. And let's be honest, Robertson loves a drink. And even if Robertson wasn't drinking, I'd still kind of favour Munoz to get the better of him. Favour Munoz to get past him. But the fact that Robertson will probably be hungover only really helps Munoz's chances. So, yeah, we need to be careful because I think it's quite dangerous, especially if Van Dijk doesn't play. So if Van Dijk doesn't play, it's going to be Kwanzaa on the left, and that's just asking for trouble. It was Kwanzaa versus Brighton yesterday, and it just I don't want to say it was horrible, but yeah. If Kwanzaa goes this season, I'll wish him well, and then we move on. Yeah, with the shooting emote, I think the subtle suggestion there is going to be a hat trick of assists for for Munoz. Seems to be 2 balls on the pitch. They've sorted it. And Ketia, he had to leave a second place team to get a trophy. He did, and that seems to be a common theme with Arsenal. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain left. Ooh, here's Gundogan. Good defending by Kirkers. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain left Arsenal, won a Premier League, won a Champions League. Thierry Henry left Arsenal, won a Champions League. Nketiah left Arsenal, won a trophy a few days ago, FA Cup. That seems to be the common theme, doesn't it? So, yeah, if you're listening, Bukayo, and you want to win a trophy, maybe get yourself up to the north of England, where you can be Salah's backup and maybe get a trophy. Kepa back to Housen. I wonder if Housen's going to be starting for Real Madrid or what their defensive situation is going to be. Obviously, it looks like Alonso's going there. Oh, Kluivert to Evan Nielsen, and he hits the post. Bro. Why does everyone keep hitting the post today? Semenyo. Yeah. Yeah, but with Alonso going to Real Madrid, they're probably going to play 3 centre-backs. Which might mean that they only have 2 attackers up front, which will probably be Vinicius and Mbappe, which then kind of leads to the question of what's going to happen to Rodrigo. I know a lot of people want Rodrigo at Liverpool, but I mean, he's fine, but I'm not convinced his level's above what we have. It feels like Brazilian kind of PR to a certain degree. I mean, he's a good player, but do we really want to spend 100 million to only marginally improve ourselves at best? Not too sure. Ooh, Palace have gone ahead, have they? 2-1 Palace. Well, they haven't quite started the party yet. But hopefully they will be hungover by the time they play us. Nketiah again, by the looks of it. Yeah, Nketiah, Playing well for Palace, you gotta say. A lot of these players, they do seem to kind of thrive as soon as they leave Arsenal. Chelsea wants Rodrigo. Interesting. I mean, Chelsea seem to want absolutely everybody. Haven't they already got like 6 wingers anyway? They've got what? Mudryk, Neto, Sancho. Probably a bunch of others that we're forgetting. I think Sterling is technically still their player, I think. They want to add another winger to that mix. I mean, Chelsea seem to just go for anything that has a pulse. Kluivert, ooh. Harrison on the floor. Doesn't really affect us anymore, but that might have been a foul on Gundogan, to be fair. Yeah, okay. So Harrison's been booked. Imagine pulling back Gundogan. It's like, mate, you could outpace Gundogan with one leg. Is there really any need for that? Semenyo offside, man. Stay onside. They're just replaying that Marmoush goal again. I mean, that that could quite easily be goal of the season, just seeing that again. Benjamin Sesko, linked with Liverpool as well. Feels like another Nunes, if I'm honest. Nunes. Silva should score. Silva does score. I don't know if he's offside there, but given the given the intensity of the celebration, I expect not. Well done, Bernardo. You scored against Bournemouth. I mean, Silva is celebrating a bit too hard there, if I'm honest. Nice finish, to be fair. I'll give him that. Didn't look to blast it. Just kind of slotted it into the near corner. It takes a certain level of arrogance, I think, to do that, and that's probably a positive in this context. I mean, I was expecting Bournemouth to be doing a lot better here. But it is what it is. Ooh, good defending, Howson. The financial agreement between Liverpool and Bayer Leverkusen for Florian Wirtz is not seen as a potential issue. Is it safe to get on the hype train yet, or is it still too early? Liverpool have made initial contact for Monaco's Magnez Alikouch. Who on earth is that? Magnez Alikouch is a French footballer, plays as attacking midfielder for Monaco. His entire Wikipedia is 4 lines. That's wild. I don't mind that if he's good enough. Howson with a long pass to Evan Nielsen. Is Evan Nielsen, is he Brazilian? Evan Nielsen is Brazilian. 30 matches, 10 goals. That's not bad. Araujo. Semenyo. Semenyo loses the ball again. Semenyo reminds me of Mane a bit, just not as strong and not as good in all aspects. Robin Dam says, would it kill you to smile? When it's Man City, it would. It's quite painful watching this Man City team. But you made me smile there. I'll smile for you, Robin. But not for anyone else. Oh God, Man City are just so slow with their build-up, man. Nice tackle by Araujo there. Araujo got booked. For what? The reports about Klopp going to Roma have been squashed. That was a fun 24 hours. Good shot by Gundogan, but saved by Kepa. But I'm not convinced he knew what was going on. Pep is running onto the field there. Is that not a booking? Fish says get Todibo'd. Do I need to get Todibo'd, or does somebody on the pitch need to get Todibo'd? And what does that entail to get Todibo'd? Like, what does that involve? Guardiola passes it straight back to Bournemouth. Apparently, Edison is off in the summer as well. Which probably explains partially why Man City are not in for WIRTZ. Oh, Cliver. Good tackle. Kirkes. Cliver hits it over. This Man City team looks like it needs a bunch of new players. Fish says, "Sir, can I go to the toilet?" You can. It might be more interesting than watching Man City try to play football. But we've discussed this previously. Like fish's entire environment that they live in is the toilet, right? Because you're underwater. So how does that work? Oh, thankfully, half time. Oh god. Man, their stadium is half empty. That is embarrassing. So many empty seats, man. Whenever you kind of see the whenever you see the crowd at the Manchester Stadium, it's always half empty. But when they report their revenue, apparently they have record-breaking ticket revenue. I'll believe it when I see it, but we've never seen it. Enzo Fernandez linked with Real Madrid, which is interesting. Oh, gonna stretch my legs because it's half time. I'll be back in 2 minutes. Fish says lies. What's lies? Did you encounter lies when you went to the toilet? Oh, maybe this Villa are showing an interest in Kelleher. Perhaps that adds it adds a bit of fuel to the story regarding the Martinez departure. Martinez out, Kelleher in. Oh, I've got a sore throat. Kelleher in. They get a younger keeper. How old's Kelleher? Kelleher must be like 25, right? 26. He's 26 and he's 27 in November. Dang, we have really held him back. I don't blame Kelleher for wanting to go. Yeah, I mean, maybe that's the plan. Sal Martinez. I mean, is it safe to say that Martinez's best years are behind him, or is that a bit presumptuous? But nevertheless, Sal Martinez, get Kelleher in, and then have a good keeper for the next 5-6 years, at the very least. It'll be interesting to see kind of what happens with Villa, because I think there are some concerns with respect to PSR. So with that in mind, Kelleher would have to be cheaper. Everyone's hating on Howson now, saying Howson's overrated. Howson's never making it at Madrid. Howson doesn't move me at all. He's average. To be honest, like I don't want to sound bitter and butthurt, because I'm not, but it seemed a bit early for him to kind of go to Madrid, if I'm honest. Like he literally turned 20 last month. You'd think he'd go to another club and then make the step up. Owen McKnight says, fellow Liverpool lad, up the Reds. Yes, up the Reds, Owen. How you doing, Owen? Hope you're good. Hope you're doing well. Mbuemo linked with Arsenal. I do think Mbuemo would improve Arsenal. But doesn't he play in Saka's position? So how would that work? Is this Arsenal's obsession again with not getting a central striker? It's like, they've had like a leaking pipe in their kitchen for the last 5 years. And they're getting a new cooker, they're getting a new microwave, they're getting a new oven, but they never just fix the damn leaking pipe. Mbuemo is good, but I swear he plays off the right and kind of cuts inside on the left. Just watching this Man City performance without a coffee, which is quite an achievement. It's like they need a right back, and I think they need a left back as well. And they need a number 10. And potentially a defensive midfielder, even though Rodri's on the bench. Owen says, did you see the fraud Marmoush's goal? I did. I love calling Marmoush a fraud. I love calling him the second best Egyptian, but it was a nice goal, to be fair. But he's still a fraud. Apparently, he's on like 300 grand a week, you know. He's on 15 million a year. So what's 15 over 52? Yeah, basically 300 grand a week. I'm excited to see when the new Liverpool kits come out. Like, we've had rumored designs, but you know, when you just get to see the official one for real. Unfortunately, because we're changing over to Adidas, we're not going to be wearing the new kit for the Palace game. Well, that's fine. I like the current kit. It's nice. But I'm still eager to see what Adidas come up with, even though I have one of them. But you know, I still want to see what the home one looks like. Adidas Liverpool kit date. Scheduled to be released on the 1st of August. That's bloody ages away. It's probably like a contractual thing, isn't it? I'm trying to put it on the damn screen, but like, it's being funny. Owen says Bournemouth are getting all the best players taken away from them. They are. I feel a bit sorry for them to a certain degree. You know, they kind of brought Housen into the league, kind of when Juventus didn't want him, and now Housen's going off to Real Madrid. Similarly with Kerkez, they brought Kerkez into the league, and now it looks like Kerkez is going to be coming to us. I guess the silver lining for them, to a certain degree, is they are going to get 100 million quid, which is a lot more than they spend. So it's not like they're losing him on a free like a certain number 66. But even though they're getting money, I still feel sorry for them a little bit. Semenyo might be off as well. Under the Floodlights says, do you think other leagues know they can rip off the? Do you think the other leagues know they can rip the Premier League off with prices? Do you think the other leagues know they can rip As in, are you saying like, do I think the other leagues know that the Premier League ripped them off by getting players for cheap? Um, they probably know to a certain degree, but I think equally there's probably a lot of pressure from the players' side to kind of want to move. Um, so like they're probably aware of it to a certain degree. But I guess it kind of depends on the context as well. Quite a few of these players with the foreign clubs, they have release clauses. So like if a team kind of pays the release clause, then they're off. I guess it depends on a kind of case by case basis. Sometimes I think these teams learn that they got ripped off, perhaps with time. Like when Salah went for 35 million, I remember everyone thinking that's probably a bit expensive for a guy that kind of failed at Chelsea. There's a random Egyptian guy that failed at Chelsea. So at the time, they probably didn't think they got ripped off. And then a year later, they were like, shit, we got fleeced. Let me set this timer for the second half. Oh, I've set it too early. Under the Floodlight said, have you heard Klopp is in final talks to go to Roma? Is he? I saw that the news broke yesterday, and everyone was like, oh my god, Klopp has got a underdog obsession. But then today, like a lot of the news got squashed. As far as I'm aware, like you might have updated news than what I saw. But yeah, the latest I saw around that is today they came out and said, nah, it's not happening. I'd love to see Klopp in the Italian league. But yeah, my understanding was that rumor got squashed. How do you feel about Lucho going to Barcelona for 70 million? I need to be very, very careful what I say here, because we have a Lucho representative on Twitch, so I need to be careful. Shit. I need to be very careful. How do I feel? It says, I'm just kidding. I think financial, it would be good for the club. Well, just thinking about it, I think the positives, or perhaps the negatives to him going. Firstly, I think he's had a really good season, especially in certain spells. Especially, I think he got a hat trick in the Champions League. Was it Leverkusen that he got a hat trick against? He also played well against Man United. So I think he's played quite well this season. This might be one of his best seasons that I think he's had in a long time. And it's always exciting to kind of see him come on the pitch, even if he doesn't start, because he's already kind of jumping up and down like before he's got on the pitch. And as soon as he comes on, you see the energy he injects into the play. You see the positivity he injects into the play. And that's another thing I like about him. He's very positive, very kind of forward focused. Not, kind of passing it sideways, kind of that kind of thing. So I think it would be a shame from that perspective. Whereas the positives for the move, so if we consider the positives for the move for a second, Pixels mentioned one there. So from a financial perspective, it would be good for the club. Because if I recall, we paid about 37 million. So if we get 75 million, we're doubling our money. We're doubling our money, and you could also make the argument we're doubling our money after getting the best of a player, because I think wingers peak a bit earlier because they're like kind of reliant on their pace. Another positive would be, I believe he's got 2 years left on his contract. And it's the same conversation that we have about KONATE, where we say, look, if he's not going to sign, just sell him and move on. And I almost feel like when you get to 1 year, with KONATE, it's too late at that point. I almost feel like the 2-year point is the real last step, if you know what I mean. Because once you reach 1 year, the players just got to wait another 5 seconds and then they get all the power. I feel like 2 years is the real last step where the club has a bit of power and the player has a bit of power. So from that perspective, if he doesn't want to sign a new deal, then it's probably best for everyone, I think. But I'd be if he does go, I'd be sad to kind of see him go. I think he's got a good attitude as well. Comes across quite well. Yeah, and that's the point there as well. But Lucho takes up so little of the wage bill for a player. So that is so class. Yeah, I think he's on a like 50 grand. I've seen rumors of like 50 grand a week, 55 grand a week, which is nothing. I think what perhaps helped us is when he came over from Porto, he was on very little. So then when Liverpool offered him 55, he was like, wow, that's like way more than I get right now. So yeah, he is on kind of very little right now. But if for the next contract he wants, and I'm not saying he does, but theoretically, if he wanted like 250, then you might have to look at kind of moving him on. But yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is, I guess. Klopp would have been awesome at Roma. Wish it wasn't a rumor. Yeah, I would have liked to see him at Roma. I know Klopp has this kind of underdog fascination. I was going to use a different word. Underdog kind of fascination to a certain degree. So I'd like to kind of see how he rebuilds a team after he has won all those major trophies with Liverpool, if you know what I mean. Like I'd like to see him begin the cycle again. The cycle of being given like a sleeping giant and then rebuilding them from scratch. I'd be fascinated just to see him do it again. And I'd find that kind of a bit more interesting than him going to like a top club. But yeah, it seems like it's just a rumor. To be honest, kind of given Klopp's age, I presume he's only got one more kind of job left in him, and that would probably be Spain. But let's keep an eye on it. Palace 3-1 Chilwell. Wow, Palace are not quite partying yet, but hopefully by the time they play Liverpool, like they'll be in full party mode by then. So we can have two teams who can't be bothered trying to give it a go on the last day of the season. Hader says they must renew KONATE's contract. Yeah, it should be a priority, I think. Kind of looking at who's available internationally, nobody really jumps out. Like in some ways, and again, I don't know if this is a bit kind of pretentious, but I feel like kind of Van Dijk is on like a level of his own. And I'd even put Van Dijk above kind of Bastoni and them lot. And then I'd say KONATE is maybe the next level down. But even in that next level down, there aren't really very many other centre-backs who are rapid. And I think to play as a Liverpool centre-back, you need to be rapid because we play such a high line and you need to be rapid to get back. And the centre-back's going to need to be rapid to cover Frimpong next year. And I don't know who's available that has those features and those attributes other than KONATE. So I think they need to kind of sort that contract out. Apparently, he's on like 70 grand a year currently, which let's be honest, it's not enough for a player of his ability. And again, I'm not like a KONATE fanboy. Like I appreciate he has certain shortcomings here and there. But the kind of flip side of the conversation is I don't think 70 grand a week is representative of his quality. Now, for me, if Liverpool can get him on like 5-year contract, 4-year maybe, 200 grand a week, I think do it. if he's asking for more than 200, then I'm not sure. I'm not sure the club would cave to that. But I mean, given he's on 70 right now, if you give him 210, that's tripling his wages. It's like what he used to pretty much make in a month. Now you're gonna make in a week. He surely must be signing that. Saliba is on like 180, 190. So I'd like to hope. I'd like to hope we offer him somewhere in the 200 grand range and a nice 4 to 5 year contract. Hopefully that gets it done. Here's Kirkes with the cross. Nice cross. That was such a nice cross by Kirkes. But the junk Bournemouth player completely missed it. Who is this guy? Brooks. Kirkes has got his hands up. Like, what more you want me to do? If any Liverpool player gets on the end of that was an amazing cross. Any Liverpool player gets on the end of that's going in. Hader also says, I hope Kwanzaa leaves. Yeah, me too. I don't mean to be harsh, but I just don't think Kwanzaa's good enough. He's a decent player. He's a decent centre back, but I don't think he's Liverpool level. He doesn't seem to kind of have. I always feel weird kind of saying this because like I don't have those abilities either, so I feel like I'm kind of hating on someone. But like for me, he's not strong enough. He's not fast enough, and he doesn't really seem to have the brain either. And for me, like those three qualities, they're key to being a successful defender. And again, I'm not saying Konza's rubbish. I think he's a decent mid-table level Premier League centre back, and there's nothing wrong with that. Not everyone can go from the academy and be a superstar. The good thing about Kwanzaa is he is English, so that will command a higher fee from English clubs at the very least. I think if we can get 40 million, maybe from a Newcastle, but I'd argue that Newcastle's level is perhaps above him now. But if we can get, say, a 40 million from a mid-table club, maybe a Nottingham Forest, maybe even like a Crystal Palace, But I think if we can get 40 million, let's sell. Because you can improve Kwanzaa's strength, but you can never make him faster. Like you can never really get much faster. And it's hard to make somebody smarter as well. I mean, just look at Darwin Núñez. He spent 3 years in England and he knows about 2 words. Semenyo, not bad by Semenyo. But yeah, I think if we can get a decent fee for Kwanzaa, I'm hoping we can reinvest that. Give him an Elliott to Newcastle for Isak. I think they'd cover most of it. So like if you were to put like a number value on Kwanzaa, what would it be? I'd put like 40, 45 on Kwanzaa. On Elliott, I'd put like 50, which would be 95. So I think you'd need those two plus maybe 20 million, and then I think you'd get Isak. But even if Newcastle don't want Kwanzaa, I still think there'll be clubs who do want him. So we will be able to sell him for money at the very least, which we can then look to reinvest. Yeah, Bournemouth not offering as much as I'd hoped. Is Gundogan to Marmoush, cleared by Hassan. I see Steve McManaman is defending Trent. No surprises there, considering he did the exact same thing. It's been like what, 20, 30 years, and I still can't stand Steve McManaman. Who do you think wins tomorrow, United or Tottenham? I want Tottenham to win because we can then say, look, Tottenham have won a European trophy, which makes them bigger than Arsenal. Crystal Palace have won a FA Cup, which means, they've got more recent silverware than Arsenal. And then if Chelsea win the Conference League, we can then say that look, all these London teams have won trophies and Arsenal haven't. So it gives us more reason to dunk on Arsenal. So I want Spurs to win, but in reality, I think United will win. They just have some weird kind of luck in that competition. I wasn't quite expecting them to score so many goals past Bilbao, but they somehow did it. They somehow did it while sitting in 17th in the Premier League. So yeah, I think United, but I hope Spurs. But yeah, how about you? Who do you think will win? Ooh, saved by Kepa. Palace 3-2 Wolves. How do I always end up watching the game with the least amount of goals? Who scored? Is it? Don't tell me it's Nketiah again. Oh no, it must have been a Wolves goal, right? Strand Larson. Fair enough. Haida says, Inshallah, hope you're right, but yeah, United will win. Yeah, I just got a bad feeling. They've got some kind of weird luck in that competition where they perform terribly everywhere else, but as soon as they get into that competition, that's it. They just have a weird way of winning. I mean, trying to look at the positives, I guess. If they win, then perhaps Ineos are then less likely to invest in the team because they think it's a team of winners, and then hopefully they have another terrible season next year. Let's hope so. Leighton, aka Dexter, aka Rollerfoot, says, I'm back. Good to hear. How you doing? Hope you're good. Hope you're well. I hope Spurs win tomorrow, but I'll be cheering for Betis. Yeah, fair enough. I think most people are kind of hoping Spurs win the Europa League. I mean, in some ways, it's like choosing between two evils. So you don't, do you want to die in a car crash or do you want to die drowning? So it's like, which one would I rather have? But yeah, I hope Spurs do it. Yeah. Well, it will be interesting to see. I presume Anthony will be playing in that game, so it'll be interesting to see how he does against a Premier League team when he's not playing for Man United. You know what I mean? So then that might confirm whether Anthony's issue was the Premier League, i.e. the standard of Premier League's teams, or whether Anthony's issue was just the toxic nature of Man United. It'd be interesting to see, because like if Anthony does amazing, is it then safe to say that Anthony actually is a Premier League level player, and the issue is only that he was at the toxic club? I think that would be a fair assessment. Leighton says, yeah, good, just find out whereabout I'm going at the parade. Nice. Should be good, the parade. Fingers crossed. Out of curiosity, just out of sheer curiosity, I just looked at hotel prices for the parade day, just out of curiosity, and like even like the cheapest hotel, which is normally like £50, is £350 just for that one day. Plus Adrian is the keeper for Betis. Yeah. It'll be nice for Mr. San Miguel to get another trophy. I mean, if Betis win it, then surely that's a sending off for Kovacic. Yeah. I'm trying to see it as kind of a win-win. So if Betis win it, that will make the Chelsea fans angry. If Chelsea win it, that will make the Arsenal fans angry. It is a bit weird that the Conference League final is happening after the Europa League final. So Europa League finals tomorrow, and Conference League final is, when is it? Oh. 28th of May. Conference League final is next week. De Bruyne is coming off. Looks absolutely exhausted, but to be fair, he has played a lot of minutes recently. Ooh, this must be his last. This must be the last time he's coming off, right? For Man City. That's why everyone's applauding. So the last time he's coming off at Man City's home ground. So all like 20 fans that they have in the stadium are clapping for him. He deserves more fans clapping for him, to be fair. Be interesting to see where he ends up. Got an odd feeling the Reds might be in for him after kind of what Salah said. It seems like he wants to stay in the Premier League. I think he will stay in the Premier League. Nico Gonzalez is on for De Bruyne. Cunha is coming on. Does that mean he wasn't starting? Is he just coming back from injury? Is that why he wasn't starting? He's surely one of their best players. He's leaving a 14th place team for a 16th place team. Yeah. Uh, the whole situation with Cunha is a bit weird. I don't know if you've seen like any of the reporting on it, but they're saying that Cunha is really convinced by Man United's project. And I'm just thinking, what project? What is their project? There's no project. What do you mean project? Unless by project he means 300 grand a week. And then he can build his own project. But I'm like, what project? You're 16th. You're by all counts absolutely terrible. Your system doesn't work in the Premier League. Like, what is the project? Like, if you're 16th, what is the project? Is it to finish top half? Because surely that's the project if you're 16th. So unfortunate, the injuries finished his legs. Yeah, I hear that. Especially in comparison to kind of how he was earlier in his career. Otherwise, I would gladly take him like a Milner signing. Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends kind of who else Liverpool bring in. I wouldn't mind him as like a bench option to bring on the last 15-20 minutes against like a low block team. Quite often Liverpool come up against teams who play like a very low block, so they defend very deep. And other than Harvey Elliott, we don't have any players I feel who can break a low block. But with Harvey Elliott probably going, as Salah said, there's a spot for him there. So I mean, if he's willing to accept like very low wages, I wouldn't mind him. Last 15 minutes if we desperately need a goal, kind of thing. That project was lost years ago. Ooh, Cook has been sent off. Yeah, that project was lost years ago, and they start a new project every few years, don't they? And each new project is somehow worse than the last project. So you had the Van Gaal project, and then you had the Mourinho project, which was worse than that. Then you had the Ten Hag, the Ali project, which was worse than that. Then the Ten Hag project, which is worse than that, and now the Amorim project, which is worse than the Ten Hag project. I just found the wording really strange. Like, Cunha is convinced by the project. Like, what project? The project is to literally avoid relegation. I mean, it's probably a money thing, to be fair. And at the very least, I think we can give a certain amount of credit to Cunha that at least he signed a new contract a few months ago, so that Wolverhampton would get a fee for him, unlike a certain number 66. A certain number 66 who looks absolutely bemused every time he doesn't get you know, he looks bemused every time he doesn't get a round of applause. Cunha at least signed a new contract so that Wolves would get a fee. But 66 doesn't want to do that. Do the refs have a certain amount of red cards before the end of the season? This ref didn't meet his quota. It looks like it. He's trying to kind of get all his quota right today and maybe in the last game of the season. I mean, I saw the tackle with the kind of corner of my eye. It didn't look like the worst thing ever. But yeah, that's Kovacic off, and that's also Cook off. Maybe he just wanted to balance things out. Who knows? Hader says, I hear that about Trent, but that was the only way he was going to go Madrid. It is true. Um, like, Madrid were rumored to say, like, Madrid were kind of convincing him not to sign a new contract so that they could get him. But, like, thinking about it from another perspective, if you're a football player and a team is saying, we'll take you for free, but we'd never pay for you. Like, it wouldn't really make that team appeal to me. It's like you start a new job and they say, look, we'll take you for free as a volunteer, but we ain't gonna pay you. I just feel a bit they're just setting the standard already regarding how they're gonna treat him. Like, even if it's true, like, it's just a weird thing to say to a football player. Like, we're not paying for you. Yeah, F Madrid indeed. Well, Barcelona have ensured that Madrid don't get the title this year, so Barcelona have played their part. But even watching kind of some of the Real Madrid games this year, they look kind of quite disjointed and kind of unorganized. I appreciate Xabi Alonso is going to go there next year, but Xabi Alonso is going to completely change their system. Is that going to work immediately, or is that going to take a bit of time? And how is Xabi Alonso going to handle some of these egos, some of these egotistical players when he tries to implement new ideas? Will the players push back? Will the players say, no, this doesn't work, we want to do it our way? I mean, if Xabi's going to play 3 centre backs, that means he's also going to play 2 wing backs. That means he's probably going to have just 2 strikers up front instead of 3. So where does that leave players like Rodrigo? Rodrigo might put in a transfer request to leave then. Fish says 2 red cards. Yes, it's the sending offs have been the most exciting part of this game. You say, I think Trent plays mid. Do you reckon? I mean, whenever I've seen Trent in midfield, I haven't been particularly impressed. I mean, they tried it for England. I know we say Bun International and all that, but even when they kind of tried it for England, he didn't look very good. Kobe Mainu got put in. Kobe Mainu's rubbish as well, but Kobe Mainu looked better. And Real Madrid's midfield is stacked as well. Like, they've got Tchouaméni, they've got Camavinga, they've got Valverde, they've got Trent's boyfriend as well. Oh, don't do another sending off. Don't do another sending off. Always not. Their midfield stacked as well. So yeah, he could. I mean, it's possible, but it's tough to see kind of where he gets it. My honest opinion, like if you said, like, predict what's gonna happen, I think they're gonna put him as a right back, and then after a month they're gonna see that he's not kind of what they wanted. So I think after a month he's gonna end up on the bench, sitting there with his arms folded, looking like very angry with his arms folded on the bench. That's what's gonna happen, I think. He'll make a mistake, he'll get benched, and then he'll never get off the bench. Because Carvajal, I presume, will still be there. That's a tough level of competition. Yeah, he'll get to spend more time with his boyfriend, so he'll enjoy that at the very least. Free kick here. Marmoush standing over it. Silver, Marmoush. Ooh, not bad. Just hits it over. Not bad though. He's not a bad. He's actually a decent striker of the ball, this Marmoush. Pretty decent striker. Rodri's coming on. Rodri. The resurrection of Rodri is almost complete. Who were the players? What did they do? It was Kovacic and Cook, I believe, for Bournemouth. Just bad tackles, late tackles. Late tackles got sent off. It is what it is. Marmoush went to the wrong club. Loki wanted him. I hear that. I don't know if you saw his goal today, but his goal, not possible. That his goal today is a literal goal of the season contender. Outside of the box, smacked it top corner. It was kind of going over the bar and then just kind of dipped into the corner at the last second. Yeah, I wouldn't have minded him. I think the only downside with Marmoush is his salary expectations. So he's on like 300 grand a week, which we wouldn't have paid. But yeah, I mean, if he asked for smaller wages, you know, the 150 market that we operate in, then yeah. Like Diaz is on 50 and Marmoush is on 300. But yeah, I think if Marmoush is asking for say 150, maybe 200 max, we could have, could have been in with a shout. He's doing what? I mean, he is doing well. He's doing better than I thought. I wasn't 100% sure if his style would work in the Premier League, but he looks lively. I've definitely seen a lot worse. I appreciate that's not a compliment, or it's not the best compliment. But he's dangerous. Rodri on the pitch now. Good for him that he came back. Man, like modern like surgery and stuff is just so impressive. Like Rodri couldn't walk a few months ago. Remember the award? Was it the Ballon d'Or award thing where he had to be helped? And now he's just like running around. I still just find that so crazy. Good tackle by Rodri. Rodri looking sharp, man. As sharp as the surgeon's knife, which fixed him up. I've been disappointed by Bournemouth here. Thought they might get something. At least get a goal, man. Semenyo. We were linked with Semenyo. I'm kind of glad it's not going to happen. He reminds me of Mane, but like every attribute of Mane, he's not as good. Like he's like the 70% of Mane. Not as fast as Mane, not as strong as Mane, not as good a shot as Mane. He's like the Aldi version of Mane. Mateta's come on and he's not wearing his ear protection. Well, that's good to hear. He must be healing up then, because he was wearing it during the FA Cup final, I remember. So that's positive news. Good to hear he is doing better. Ooh, Brooks down the left here. Come on, get a you're not going to get a consolation goal with that kind of cross. Kirkers has played quite well. He put a very good cross in earlier in the game, and the Bournemouth guy just completely missed it. Damn, Palace 4-2 Eze. Eze's another one that's having a spectacular season. It'll be interesting to see if he's still at Palace next year. Tavernier's been booked for crimes against football. I mean, the advert for the Premier League next season that they're showing has got Haaland. Basically, it didn't have any Liverpool players on it. It had like Haaland, Watkins, Reece James, and Odegaard. And I'm like, hello. Gonzalez scores. Does anyone care? Not particularly. All 20 fans in the Manchester Stadium are clapping, but not overly excited. Who is this Nico Gonzalez guy? Did they buy him in January? Nicolas Gonzalez Iglesias. Oh, they bought him for 50 million in February. Like again. Like who are like all these randomers, man? Like Man City just throw 50 million pound around like it's £5. Like it's nothing. This has been one of the kind of slowest 3-0 games I've ever seen. Like they've scored 3 goals, but their performance hasn't felt particularly inspiring. Here's Semenyo, do something, and you pass it backwards. As it stands then, Man City are third. So, as it stands, Villa would not get Champions League. Doku is coming on. Marmoush is coming off. Yeah, They're just replaying his goal over and over again. And to be fair, I don't blame them. Gundogan's coming off as well. I'm surprised Gundogan can run around for 92 minutes. Silva's coming off as well. Grealish is coming on. And he spat his chewing gum into his hand, but what's he going to do with it now? I presume he just chucked it on the floor, but that's not nice, is it? Poor pass by Guardiola. Guardiola's passing's been off, man. It's been proper off today. Apparently Liverpool are very serious about Florian Wirtz. Michael Edwards is going to fly to Boston this week to try and sort it out. Is he going to beg John Henry for money? Two minutes left. Oh, poor pass back. And Bournemouth get Bournemouth get their consolation goal. Ruben Diaz is pants, man. That's not the first blunder he's had in this game. At least Bournemouth have a consolation though. I'm quite happy for them. That's full time. That is full time. Man City 3, Bournemouth 1. Pretty unspectacular game, if I'm honest, for a game that had 4 goals. But it is what it is. Yeah, I think the Marmoush goal was definitely the highlight of that. But anyway, we move on. Europa League final tomorrow, which should be good. And then probably nothing until the weekend, I think. Yeah, I'd have to double check Thursday and Friday. Yeah. But yeah, that's probably what we'll do, guys. So Europa League final tomorrow. And then we'll figure out the rest of the week. Probably nothing on Wednesday. Sorry, probably nothing on Thursday. Yeah, Palace game much better. 6 goals. Palace are a much more entertaining team, I think, kind of given the way that they play. Man City scored 3, but just kind of felt very defensive, if I'm honest. But it is what it is. Yeah, be back tomorrow for the Europa League final. Probably nothing on Thursday. And then, yeah, we'll figure out the rest of the week. But yeah, see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Cheers.